I'd like to tell you a little story. I'd like to tell you an inspirational story about Keith Atkins. You see, Keith Atkins, myself, I come out of nowhere. I enter this business at 40 years old. I spent the last 4 years making a name for myself. All over Oregon, all over Washington, tag team titles, singles titles, it doesn't matter. Ring around the Northwest, I've been in that a couple of times. All over everywhere. And people are, you should be thinking, you know, this is an inspirational story. Man comes in at 40 years old. But there's an awful lot of animosity towards me, and I've gotten used to it. You see, before I came around, average wrestler comes in, maybe starts training 18, 19 years old. Maybe the average wrestler is gone by the time he's 26, 27, 28 maybe. All right. But then you get some guys that hang around in their mid-30s. And maybe they did something once upon a time. Maybe they jobbed to a big, famous name. And even though that famous name wouldn't remember them if their life depended on it, they sit on that. And they're in their 30s and they're thinking, you know, I don't have to work out anymore. I don't have to diet anymore. I'm old. I'm in my 30s. And they tell the 20-somethings that. But all of a sudden, in comes Keith Atkins. And at 44 years old, I look better than they ever did in their prime. And all of a sudden, that kind of blows that story away, doesn't it? All of a sudden, maybe you shouldn't be too fat at 30 years old. Maybe you shouldn't be too winded after a 3-minute match. Maybe the 20-somethings are looking at me and looking at you and saying, gosh, man, why the hell are you such a fat slob? And maybe you have to look in the mirror. And maybe you have to say to yourself, oh my God, I am a fat slob. But you're still not smart enough to put together that you should eat a half a box of Pop-Tarts instead of the whole thing. You should take your dirty laundry off your exercycle, maybe get on it, get a little bit of cardio. But you're still thinking you can outsmart it and still be lazy. You're doing things like, I don't know, putting a bunch of tattoos over your fat, greasy man titties. And then you're walking around going, yeah, I've been working out, bro. Fast forward to 4 years later, I'm 44 years old, I am still the best thing in the Pacific Northwest. The last 4 years, I've carried the NWWA on my back. See, Dan the man might own it, but I'm the man who paid for it. But Havoc comes in, and he's the conquering hero. Because he is going to bring the territory back to the West Coast for the first time in 30 years. And I gotta hand it to you, this is actually a good idea. This is actually where we stand up and we tell the big boys from the East Coast, screw ya, we don't need ya. We're going to make our own stars. We're going to entertain our own audiences. We'll do it ourselves, and we're no longer waiting for your table scraps. But you forgot about the man who has been carrying the ball for the last 4 years. And that's me. You left high and dry, everybody, including me, 4 years ago, and now you're going to come back. And you're going to have this tournament for the territory champion, for the West Coast. You're going to be bringing in guys from Oregon. You're going to be bringing in guys from Washington State. guys from Canada, guys from Utah, guys from Mexico, guys from California. You bring in whoever you want, Havoc. But you remember that when it's all said and done, I've waited my whole life for this, and nothing's gonna stop me. Now, provided you're still able to move around after what the Lovejoy clan did to you, you think about how it's gonna feel when you or Gentleman George have to give that title to me, Keith Atkins, when I'm the last man standing. And then you're gonna know I am your elder. I am your better. And it's gonna suck being you.